operations manager for Ozark EMS. I do all the dispatching, the daily billing, run reports, QA, compliance, HIPAA, plus keep Leon in line, which is not an easy job to do. What we're here today for is FiveLink is going to approach you with an offer to do an all-exclusive, non-emergency contract with the City of Calico Rock. We feel that this is inappropriate at this time, and the reason being is that you stood up and you pledged allegiance to this flag. This flag that my grandpa served in World War II, my father-in-law served in Korea, and my brother is still stationed at Ramstein Air Force Base in the Air Force, serving under this flag so that you all have the rights that you have today. One of those rights should include the right to choose which provider you have for an ambulance company. Granted, we all pay $50. Even I do, and I own an ambulance company. But I can darn sure tell you that I won't call 911 to tote one of my family members just because I use that fee. It's just like hospital insurance. If you have hospital insurance, you have the right to choose which doctor and which hospital you use. If it's out-of-pocket provider, then you have to pay according to your insurance policy. Same thing with a fee-for-service provider, which is what an ambulance is. Again, we feel like it's the patient's right to choose. Why waste your golden hour waiting for an ambulance to come from Melbourne or Horseshoe Bend? As you know, they've closed the Calico Rock base. There's not a truck station there. Also, I would like to tell you that we are a Christian-based organization. God is our CEO, and if you step outside and look at any of my trucks, it says the same thing that your city council professes. In God we trust. And we would like to tell you that we are truly trusting in that tonight. And the Bible says that what God is for, no man can come against. And so far, from the 3.5 years that we've been running, we've made a profit. And I give all the glory to God above because He runs our day-to-day stuff. We hire good Christian people. We have good patient care. We do good customer service. And we give back to this community more than what we take from it. And I'd like you to consider that when you consider these two proposals. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity to be able to come before you this evening and speak for Ozark EMS. FiveLink and the things I say are not against individuals, they're against it itself and not individuals. I've got some friends that work for FiveLink. Ozark EMS has taken care of the patients, our residents at the nursing home since November of 2010. We have been more than satisfied and have had an exceptional work with them anytime we call there. Now, that's for transport as well for emergencies. And I know a little about emergencies. They came and got my sister one time when she was having a heart attack. They were there in a minute and took her, and we did a great job. I've had somebody on FiveLink that did work for them, and I think still does, ask me why we stay with Ozark and don't go with FiveLink. And I said, well, there are two reasons. One, Ozark EMS is local. And number two, they didn't know we existed in Calico Rock until the other ambulance service was put in here. They had an ambulance at Melbourne, they had an ambulance at Horseshoe Bend. Now, I know what I'm talking about. I have served on that ambulance board for the county, so I know exactly how it works. You know, if my wife is on the floor and she's unconscious or she's not responding, and I call 291-1898, and Leon or one of his people tell me, hey, I can't come get you, you're going to have to call FiveLink. Not only is he in for a suit, if you take a position on this as a city, I would think you probably would be too. Just don't do that. We've got a good ambulance service. To me, it's ridiculous for either one of them to come in, including Ozark EMS, and they're not asking for to be able to be the sole operators in the city. I don't know exactly how all this works, but I do know if this can be done, could it also be done to pharmacies? Could it be done to my nursing home? I would like to have sole control over who went to the nursing home in this county. I can't do that, and certainly no better than the ask. So I'm just asking that you not take action on allowing VitaLink sole opportunity to work with this community. I think it would be wrong. I think it would be a lot of difficulty, and it just should not be there. Thank you.
I'd like to cite an example where we very recently needed EMS. My wife fell on the floor. She was laying in a puddle of blood and a puddle of vomit on May 31st. It's about a week and a half ago. We couldn't wait for VitaLink to provide an ambulance or God knows where, or wherever, Melbourne or whatever. We needed one right there, and they were right there within about 10 minutes. We got her to the nursing, to the ER. They did a CAT scan, they put some stitches in her forehead, and they brought her back. And I was very appreciative of that service we had with EMS. And I would suggest we keep it. Thank you.
Before I begin, I would like to state that my opinions are my own, not my husband's, not either one of my bosses or the fire department. It is my understanding that VitaLink is here tonight to ask the city of Calico Rock to enter into a franchise agreement in order that they be the only ambulance service allowed to respond to any and all calls in the city of Calico Rock. I'm asking the city council to not enter into any such kind of an agreement. As it stands now, VitaLink has stopped using the ambulance base near the hospital. There are only 2 ambulances stationed in the county, which according to their agreement with the county is all that they need at the station. This means that if there's a call for them to come to Calico, it takes an average of 30 to 45 minutes to get here. In the meantime, those of us who are first responders must try to explain to family members why there's no ambulance here and why it's taking so long to get one. They don't want to hear reasons, they don't want to hear excuses. All they want is help for their loved ones. VitaLink has stated that they won't keep an ambulance here in Calico. I don't think that would change with a franchise agreement, especially when they've already committed themselves to keeping an ambulance in Horseshoe Bend and in Melbourne and are also asking them for a franchise agreement. In my opinion, the city of Calico Rock should not enter into a franchise agreement with anyone. The people of Izzard County and the citizens of Calico Rock should be able to choose which ambulance service they want responding in their time of need. They shouldn't be required to use up their golden hour having to wait for an ambulance, especially when there's an ambulance service right here in Calico that can respond in 10 minutes or less in the city and 20 minutes or less outside of the city. Thank you for your time.
My husband fought in 2 wars for the freedom of this flag. I had 3 brothers that fought in wars. One of them got killed from the Vietnam War, but he was over there fighting for freedom. To me, when we let somebody come in here and tell us what ambulance service we can use, we're letting them tell us that freedom does not mean anything to us. That we will be told who we'll use and who we won't. But I'm here to tell you, with my client, I've had to call Ozark EMS 3 times to come out there. The longest it has took him is 7 minutes. Have I had to have first responders there and evacuate load the patient? No. Ozark EMS loaded the patient by themselves. And I will say that as long as Ozark EMS is in business, I will continue to call.
Appreciate the opportunity to speak speak to you guys today. My name is Jay Stowe, and I've been in a couple of businesses here in California, state appraiser, several years, and now roof cleaning business with Ozark Propane. A couple of instances with Ozark EMS. My mother was passing away with cancer and passed away last year. And when they placed her in hospice, at my request, they came from Calico Rock, Arkansas, to Mountain Home to transport my mother in her last few moments. And we didn't know how soon it was, because as soon as she got home, they placed her in the bed, got her set up, and she passed away that afternoon. And so they did something very, very dear to me. And they didn't just take care of her by transporting her, but they took care of her by making her smile and taking her last moments. And she told me as she was going, she said, "I love Ozark EMS," and she meant that because they had treated her several times previously, come by just to check on her, make sure she was fine. For myself, I had some issues with blood pressure. I didn't know I had issues with blood pressure, but I was feeling real funny one night, and Leon come by my house at the request of my wife, and they was there just a few moments, and him and his staff checked my blood pressure, and then he scolded me real hard because I didn't want to go to the doctor, and he said, "Well, you need to." And so I went to the doctor, and they've got me straightened out with my blood pressure. That's on the personal notes. On the other notes is this: I'm a free American. I like free choice, and I don't like being told by anybody who I have to have. This is a free country, and we should be allowed to choose who we think is the best provider for our individual needs. I stand behind Ozark EMS because that's who I like. I trust them. They're God-fearing people, and I love that about them, because when you're in the ambulance, you know they're going to pray for you. You know they're going to take care of you, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. And that is highly on my regards to my family and my needs. And so we need to make sure that we have the ability to get who we want to get. And I don't want nobody into any agreement. I want to be able to have and choose. So thank you for your time, and may God bless you.
Well, as y'all know, I work at the hospital, but I'm not representing the hospital in any shape, form, or fashion. These are my personal observations. I was at the dance probably a couple of years ago in Melbourne, where David Sherrill plays. And it took about a lady fell out. She died for all practical purposes. It took about at least 30 minutes to get there from Melbourne. Then it took them at least another 30 minutes after they got her loaded to leave with her. I don't know how she survived. Vital Link bypasses our hospital with very sick and dying patients because they don't like our hospital for some reason. The last time I checked, we live in a free country, and we can choose whatever we want to. I would never choose Vital Link for my own personal use. Their employees are very arrogant and rude to us hospital employees. Ozark employees, on the other hand, are very respectful and nice to us, and to me, whenever and wherever I see them. We already have a phone company that has a monopoly, and I don't think we need another one. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Calico,
I'm sorry.
from Calico, resident from Calico.
Only residents from Calico.
That's right.
It does affect ours, Mayor. It does affect where we live too. I appreciate that. And I'll step away, but I want you to understand that this decision you're making affects Pineville, Dalton, and everywhere else too. Because we do come, you are part of our community, you're part of that. And I won't go into my statements, but I do want to make the point. It does affect us. And we come to you, and I hope you understand that. I mean, I went to school with many of them, and I'm just going to tell you.
You need to get on the agenda if you want to come to Calico and talk. You
Okay,
need to
sir.
talk on the agenda.
Okay, sir. And I appreciate you giving me the moment you did. Thank you.
Seems to me if Vital Link was doing their job, we wouldn't need Leon. I went over to the little ambulance place where Vital Link's supposed to be today, and there's what's there. Empty. They don't have a thing for us here in Calico. Kinda makes me wonder if the county judge is in somebody's pocket.
I
know what y'all think, but it's kind of what I think. I think kicking Leon out, or attempting to kick Leon out, which I think is totally illegal anyway, isn't gonna happen. Is a sad move on my part. It just makes them look like the fools that apparently I'm beginning to believe that they are. Thank you.
I got you that I'm not an Anthony Calico Rock,
All
my
right.
mother
Not too
is.
far as we need to
I
go.
have power of
Ma'am.
my mother,
Ma'am,
she's in the nursing home,
ma'am.
it's not right. It's in my house.
Rules. I'll have to go on with the meeting now.
You now have a new challenge. I am. After you're ready.
Minutes of the previous meeting, have that.
City Council. My name is Karen Ryan, and I'm here representing VitalLink Emergency Medical Services. Many of you may be more familiar with Myra Looney Wood. She was the long-standing 30-year-plus CEO with VitalLink. She retired in November, and I was hired to replace her, and I came on board in February of 2013. I am very humbled to be here before you tonight to discuss a couple issues. When I first took the position at VitalLink, I made it a goal of mine to visit with all of the county judges, all of the mayors, all of the emergency medical service boards, all of the people that were involved with pre-hospital care within VitalLink's 3-county service area. With that in mind, I approached Mayor Guthrie and requested to be on the May City Council meeting. And about the same time, it also became apparent that, for issues that you are well aware of regarding ambulance franchising, that I would need to speak, with you regarding exclusive franchise for non-emergency ambulance calls. So I have two goals tonight. One is to tell you a little bit about VitalLink, what we offer, what our services are, and then secondly, to talk to you about the franchising information. So first of all, VitalLink is a non-profit organization, which means every dollar we make after the expenses are paid go back into the organization to increase technical services, to increase training for our paramedics and EMTs, so that the end result, services to our constituents, are much improved and maintain that high level of deliverables that we send out to you. Secondly, VitalLink is the current contract holder for emergency calls within Izard County. We also have the contract for emergency and non-emergency in in Stone and Independence. Within Izard County, our contract is specific for 2 ambulances. Due to the demographics of the county, when this contract originally started, we attempted to work it with 3 ambulances. However, the call volume was not there to support that, so as of May 1st this year, we moved back to our contract, our agreed-upon amount of 2 ambulances within the city. What you don't see is that VitalLink has 12 advanced life support ambulances, and we are at will or free to move those within all 3 of our service counties. For example, about a month ago, when our recent bout with bad weather, we watched all the weather on our radar systems there in dispatch, and we could tell that Izard County may be in for some bad weather. We could also watch it shoot into Horseshoe Bend area, and so we moved 6 ambulances into this county, just as a precaution in case it was needed. And so we do those things quite a lot. We move those ambulances around to support the need when it arises. We have a 12-member all-volunteer board of directors. They are very active members. Our current board president is Mr. Rob Roberts. He is an employee of First Community Bank. He
works in the lending department. We also work with the Israel County EMS Board. Michelle Gray, I believe, just took Mr. Wayne Lee's position as secretary. Mark Harrington, visit with them quite often to coordinate services, better services for your county. Stone County has an advisory committee which consists of 19 members that we work with for the betterment of services within their county. We have a medical director, Dr. Glenn Knowles. He is a highly qualified board certified emergency physician, and he is very committed and very involved on a daily basis with what happens within our organization. If we don't see him every day, then we start to worry about him, because we actually operate under his license, and he takes the service, the pre-hospital service, the care we offer very, very seriously. We are very fortunate to have him. Our ambulances have cardiac monitors that are of the highest level available. We have the ability to perform capnography. We have 12 lead EKGs. We have electronic medical records that are HIPAA compliant down to the last little period in a sentence. We have optional services that an ambulance can carry through the Arkansas Department of Health. We are not only accredited with the Arkansas Department of Health, but we are also accredited by the Commission on Accreditation of Ambulance Services, only one of 4 in the state and one of 142 nationwide. This accreditation is based on over 100 standards covering all aspects of the ambulance service, from billing fairness to records maintenance to services our paramedics and EMTs offer, to the maintenance that's done on our ambulances. Like I said, all aspects of the ambulance services are covered. This is good to be accredited by this agency, because any ambulance operation can claim it is delivering quality service, but the accredited agency can prove it through its written, documented procedures and systems they have on file. Last year, 2012, VitalLink had 9,509 dispatches in our 3-county area. Izard County had 1,442 of those. We have some standards that are put in place based on that second accreditation I talked about. One is, once that dispatcher, we have our own internal dispatch office. Once that dispatcher receives the call, they have 60 seconds to notify a crew. Once that crew receives that notification, they have 2 minutes to mobilize. So what that is telling you is that within 3 minutes of that call, that ambulance is on the road. Now, those things are documented electronically. I cannot manipulate those numbers. Those come through the technical systems that we have. I pulled the, internally, we want that goal to be met 100% of the time. However, that CAS accreditation tells us we have to meet it 90% of the time. For the month of April, we met it 98.7% of the time. That's pretty good, 3 minutes out the door. April 2013, I'll continue to talk about that. In Izard County, of those calls that we had, 128 of them came to Izard County. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is a map of Izard County. I've divided it into 3 areas. And in this area, we have the Calico Rock region, the Horseshoe Bend region, and the Melbourne region. So we had 128 calls there for April. 23, 35, and 70. Of those calls to Calico Rock, 23 of them. 35 Horseshoe Bend, 70 in Melbourne, 42 we delivered to the Calico Rock Hospital. So a third of our calls for the month of April went to the Calico Rock Hospital. I feel like it's important to explain to you the Arkansas Trauma System also. The Arkansas Trauma System is a division of the Arkansas Department of Health, and they are in the business now of helping patients receive quicker, sooner care at a hospital, delivery to a hospital that is appropriate for their particular issues.
they have their own dispatch. So if we receive a trauma and they define trauma for us, there are major, moderate, and mild traumas. But the list of traumas are quite great. Things you might not think are trauma are trauma. And so we are required to call that trauma system in Little Rock, and they tell us where the best place of care for that patient is. For example, if somebody had a cardiac issue and we picked them up, it might not be the best thing for me to deliver them to White River Medical Center because there is no cardiologist on staff at the moment. So I'm just wasting time. That trauma system has all that. They see when the doctors come and go, they see what specialties the facilities have. So they tell me, don't stop at White River, you continue on to Searcy, or if it's a huge physical trauma, a lot of times we're sent to the Elvis Presley Trauma Center. Up in this part of the county, we're sent to Springfield. And so they are the ones that tell us, dependent on the issue, where we will deliver these patients many times. So I wanted to share that with you. Not only did we deliver a third of our runs to Calico Rock Hospital, but we also are abiding by the trauma system. We also have on our Batesville campus a facility named Emergency Repair Arkansas. It is a mechanical shop, and they specialize in repairing emergency vehicles. That would be fire trucks, ambulances, any type of emergency vehicle. Not only do they repair them, they rebuild them. I spent 25 years in the military, and when I first went into that shop, they had a deuce and a half. That's a big, huge troop transport truck that you would probably be familiar with seeing on MASH, the show MASH. When I came back 3 months later, because I had accepted that position, I did not recognize the deuce and a half. It looked like a brand new, state-of-the-art fire engine with all the bells and whistles, and he converted for a very good rate as compared to buying a new one. So the capabilities he has are huge. At any given moment in his 12-bay shop, you can see ambulances and vehicles from North Star EMS, Baxter County EMS, places outside of the state of Arkansas, because our reputation there is great. So we also offer that service. We offer urine drug screens for industry. We offer community education such as CPR, etc. We partner on collaborative health issues with White River Health Systems. VitalLink is currently writing the stroke protocols for the state of Arkansas through a partnership with WRHS. They're also partnering on a program to address unmet emergency health care needs for rural residents by developing a series of protocols initiated by EMS to focus on improving care for our rural patients. We're also involved in community health programs through White River, where we tag along with them and assist with those blood pressure checks in the community, with those blood glucose finger sticks in the community. All of that stuff that is very basic to a healthcare provider, but is huge to a patient to know what to do. So in a nutshell, that is who we are, and that is what we have to offer in our way of services. Pretty robust amount of services that we have to offer, and we're very proud of those. So now to the second topic that I spoke of earlier, ambulance franchising for non-emergency visits within Izard County. I understand wholeheartedly what it means to fight for freedom. I've spent 25 years in the military. I've spent 13 plus months in Iraq, same amount of time in Afghanistan, and I can tell you I understand what that word freedom means. I also understand that our government has put into place laws and ordinances and various kind of guidance on how we are to run our cities and our counties, be it rural or urban, big or small. We have rules, and as a good citizen, we are called upon to abide by those and not to take those things into our own hands. I would like to visit with you regarding adopting an ordinance allowing for the for exclusive franchising for non-emergency ambulance service within Izard County. Now, what allows me to ask for that? The Municipal Ambulance Franchise Act allows for a city such as yours to regulate non-emergency ambulance service. I didn't just make this up. In addition, Act 196, enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Arkansas, allows for an amendment to the Franchising Act, allowing for cities to enter into an agreement with other cities within the county where they are located or with the county, such as what I'm asking you to do now. The county has the emergency, the city would have the non-emergency, and we would enter into an agreement. The notion of exclusive franchising is not unique to Izard County, but rather the standard across all counties. I spoke of Act 196 a moment ago. Act 196, the legislature determined that emergency, now these are their words, I want to make sure I let you know, they're not mine. The legislature determined that emergency medical services and ambulance operations, when subjected to competitive practices of multiple companies simultaneously serving the same city, operate under precarious financial conditions, and that this type of competition is harmful to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the state. Again, this is not unique to Izard County. I ask you, the City Council of Calico Rock, to discuss and offer an exclusive franchise for non-ambulance services in the county. I'm also recommending that the provider of this service be the same provider as the county has in place by utilizing an interlocal agreement. Currently, VitalLink has that contract, so yes, I would request that VitalLink currently receive that. However, going forward, I feel that it would be in the best interest of your county or your city to work together, because you all have the same goal in mind, and that's the best pre-hospital care for your citizens. To have those competing businesses, as the legislature, as the state of Arkansas has recognized, is not good for the health and safety of your citizens. So I would encourage you to work together to figure out how to make that happen. We're in year 3 of this 5-year contract. Year 4 and 5 have to be renewed annually. So in December, I'll be before them asking them to continue for that 4th year. That's a choice they make. They have to make what they feel is right for their county. I encourage you to get to know them and get involved in that, because we've got to work together. You've got to work together for your citizens. Again, I encourage you to work with the county, come to an agreement. Think of all the money that's been spent by the county on the legalities regarding this in the past year. A lot. Money that would have been better served supporting the infrastructure of your county. Things like roads, electrical grids, sewage systems, water updates, education, trash pickup. So I encourage you once again to work together for the betterment of your citizens. I'd like to thank you for your time this evening. I invite each of you to call me, stop by our administrative offices in Batesville for a tour of our facilities to validate what I have just shared with you regarding VitalLink services. I will work around your schedules. If you want to come as a group, if you want to come individually, whatever it takes for you to validate that the services that VitalLink offers are certainly in line with what I have shared with you. One last piece of information regarding VitalLink and our employees. Independence County, we have 57 employees that have Independence County addresses. In Stone County, we have 9 Stone County employees. Izard County, we have 12 employees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we have 7 other counties: Sharp, White, Cleveland, Craighead, Boone, Lawrence, and Van Buren. Sharp has the most with 21 that come into work. and the others mostly are 1 and 2. We have a wide variety of areas which our employees come from, and we're very proud of that. They are all very well trained, and they bring excellent experience to the table in caring for your citizens. Again, I thank you for your time, and I encourage you to come by and visit with us. Yes, sir.
I think you said, 138 calls for Izard County in April,
128, sir.
128?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the numbers for Stone and Independent for April?
I do, but I didn't bring those. Just brought the Izard County numbers.
Response time has been the issue. The last time we discussed this, response time was the major issue. And again, today, response time is the issue.
Yes, sir.
I believe.
And it doesn't
It's not
matter.
the care.
Yes, sir. And it doesn't matter who your ambulance service is. There will always be 1 or 2 issues with response time. If that is, it doesn't matter if it's me or Ems out of Little Rock or Ozark or who it is, there will always be concerns with response time. Now,
Emergency is emergency.
well,
And if you lay in there dying,
what they tell us
response
is that
time is very important.
we have 30 minutes to arrive from our base to a rural location.
Not
Within
about
the-
dying.
Within the city, we have 9 minutes. That act I talked about earlier states the reason for this allowing a franchising is so we don't have 2 and 3 issues like this. If I could support the number of calls in Calico, I'd have a base here.
Last time I called 911, and I've used both services. The last time I called 911, it took 9 minutes, and I had to get angry just to get them lined up on the telephone.
And you're
There
not,
was no way that they got an ambulance started in my direction in less than 15 minutes.
And what does it matter if an ambulance is started this direction if they don't have to let in?
well, again, if I had the exclusive contract, my base would still be open here.
Well-
And you wouldn't have the concern with the local residents.
We had the concern,
You didn't
And that's why
have
you put it
a
into the total
base
here.
until Mr. Cheatham came into competition with you. You didn't have a base.
If I may, I'm gonna ask Kenny Tosh, our clinical person, to the stand. I was not here during that time, and so I can pretty much talk it, but I wanna make sure I get the facts correct. There was another ambulance service within Izard County. They had made the decision to pull out. Am I correct so far? And they had pulled out a lot of their ambulances. They had left a very skeleton crew here. And so what we did is call them and say, you want us, we want to serve these people. We want to serve them. They were like, thank the Lord, we're out, come on in. So we did that, am I correct so far?
Sure.
And then, the request for proposals from the county went out. That's when we responded. I'm not sure how many people responded to that, but that EMS board made the decision to bring this ambulance service into here. Now, what I understand is Mr. Cheatham was already operating at that time, so he was here.
well, the Oaks were they serve Izard County. And we serve the citizens of Calico. So I don't agree with the EMS board
Well, but
leaving
there
all
again,
exclusive 911 anyway.
there again, it goes back to you guys working together for the betterment of your citizens.
You had mentioned during the April bad weather, you had 12 ambulances here at Izard County.
Six
Okay,
ambulances.
where were they? I don't remember seeing any
They
here.
were on the move, they were not parked in any one place, am I correct? They were on the move, following the weather, where the attorney, the, radars were predicting that it would rain.
A couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
The trauma system that you talked about that tells you where to take somebody because they may not have a heart doctor in the hospital, is that exclusively to you or is that any ambulance service?
Any ambulance service.
So
It is-
Ozark EMS would have that too?
Yes, sir. It is through the Arkansas Department of Health, and it's the Arkansas Trauma System, and based on their guidelines, we know who to call, their particular dispatch with those
services that you went over about the different things that you do in different counties, I assume that you're offering those services to the people of Visitor County. There's no difference. You were talking about like checking blood sugar and what were all, there was a
Yes,
bunch
so
of them.
we partner with the community wellness program with White River Health Services. And they go out to businesses, industries within the counties, not only the 3 counties we serve, but also additional counties that they serve. We only attend our 3 county functions with them. They set up with them, all kinds of services, and we're right here beside them.
So they're available now?
Oh, yes, sir, they are.
Would that change if you didn't get a franchise, or would they still be available?
No, we would still partner with White River.
Okay. So, yeah, but I'm saying that's not gonna change anything.
In fact, they're scheduled for one in, is it Black Rock in Mitchell County?
So,
Right
so
over
if no
to
franchise are granted, the level of service in the county is gonna remain exactly what it is. It's not gonna change. If there's no franchise granted by the city, your level of service to the county is gonna remain the same.
We will continue the same through our contract with this community.
So basically, you would have to do it with the contract, so.
We will honor our contract, yes. Okay, anything else? Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity.
I got one thing to say, you got some big shoes to fill. I've known Myra for many years, and you coming into this, a lot of it you come into, you were blindsided with a lot of information that wasn't clear. Got a couple of things I want to pass out, and I've taken some notes while we've been talking, because it's, you would pass those around, and you would pass those around. There's 10 of them I want you to look at. What I passed around is the checkoff sheet for the paramedic truck for the state of Arkansas, and the last page of the rules and regulations that the county has in effect right now. In that contract that you signed 2 years ago with the county, it said specifically it's coming around. There would be no non-emergency calls in this contract. And they knew up front. I spoke to you several months ago, a year and a half ago, we talked about this, and we decided not to do anything at that time. So we're back at this again, and it's not me asking for an exclusive contract, it's VitalLink asking for it. I still say that we don't need exclusive contract, but we do need to figure out a way to take care of the people of Battle Rock. Because they're not being taken care of with the service that we have now through the county. If they were, we wouldn't have to worry about this. Ms. Ryan spoke that she said she had talked to and met with everyone that was around, the counties, the judges, the EMS. Ms. Ryan has never spoke to me other than one trauma meeting. So we have never got to visit on any of this situation or anything that's going on. I know in the last couple of months they've been to a couple of other cities asking for a franchise, and as far as I know, neither one of those have signed either. It still comes down to it that the patient has a choice. If you will read your Medicare laws, rules and regulations, it specifically says in the Medicare laws that Medicare patient has the right to choose who they want to. If you really want to get down close to it, it says that they're supposed to be given an option. Okay? So we're trying to put in an exclusive contract that says you must go with this company versus this company. I'm not sure what the rates are, what they charge for their rates versus our rates. But I think if I'm buying something or a service, I want to know what it costs. I want to shop around and see what the other one costs. Okay? So we've got 2 companies here to look at. Whenever we do a non-emergency transfer, the patient gets what's called an ADN. It's a form that they look at that gives the exact amount of what it's going to be in case their Medicare doesn't cover it. They know up front, they sign it, or they can refuse it. That's given to every patient. We have to do that. Approximately 100 services in the state
in the state of Arkansas, 75 counties. 2 counties in the whole state use this fee for service that we pay our $50 fee. You pay your $50 fee just like I do, and what that guarantees you that you will have a emergency ambulance to take care of you. And you won't get a bill for the rest of it. Okay? 2 counties in the state use it. We're one of them. She talked about being certified with the accreditation. That's good. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I worked for VitalLink part-time for about 3 years. I know what it means when accreditation time is coming and what you have to do to make sure all this is done. Got 100 services in the county, in the state, basically, and 4 of them are accredited. It does mean something that they are accredited, but I think if it was that important, I think there would be more people trying to do it. We are a paramedic service. We're licensed with the state to serve Izard County. Everything on that checkoff sheet is the same checkoff sheet that they have to go by. She mentioned some other things that they have on their ambulances, and I didn't hear her say one thing on their ambulance that's not on ours. Okay. We're in the process right now of doing rapid sequence intubation, which is RSI, and our medical director, who is Dr. William Pittman, and he is writing the protocols for that right now. Then we have to go through the state and through the teaching company to do it. But that's one extra thing that's not on there, especially living in a rural area and not being able to get someone intubated who is not breathing makes a big difference. So we talk about training. Our paramedics are paramedics. They're trained to the same level. So then afterwards, what do they want to do after they become a paramedic? We offer training each month. Every month we have a CEU class. Something going on. The biggest thing is documentation, because we want to make sure we document right when we send it into our billing company. We use an off-source billing company that is not going to bill something that's not right. If it's not right, they send it back to us and we have to redo it. Therefore, we're not charging or overcharging or Medicare fraud or anything like that. So the billing company we have is a reputable billing company. It's ProMed out of El Dorado. And I've been friends with Ken Kelly for many, many years. And we tried to do the billing when we first went into business, and what a headache. So they got the ladies that does it, and we punch it in and send it to them, and we're taking care of it. They said they had 6 ambulances in Izard County when the storm. That was good. I didn't see any over here, but she's saying, well, geographical, maybe we didn't need it. But we had 3 sitting here that night. 2 paramedic trucks and 1 advanced life support truck, which is what's used to be called an intermediate. So we've still got the coverage here. You've heard the people speak, and I can say for my people that work for me that they're good people. They take care of our customers, take care of our patients. I can say that I have probably taken care of over half of you at the tables, some type of family member. Izard County has got a contract with VitalLink. I know the citizens voted on this, but that contract is between the county and VitalLink, not the citizens. Okay, the citizen still has the right to call who they want to. If they didn't, we wouldn't be standing here tonight fighting this. We wouldn't have been in court last year fighting this. But I didn't bring up that battle. That battle was sent to me. And we're going to continue to fight it until we get to the very end of it, because I'm going to stick up for what I think is right. When I went into this business, I went into it with 1 basic truck and 3 employees. We're up to 4 trucks now. We run 2 trucks daily.
2 advanced life support trucks daily. 24 hours a day. We will be here if you need us. I don't know how we'll ever get to the point of working with anyone to get it taken care of where we can work together. I thought we were gonna work together from day one. If they didn't have a truck available or one close, I thought we were gonna try to work together. That's never happened. So, I don't know if it ever will happen. So with that not happening, we went the next step and said, okay, we start promoting our business. And that's what we've done. For 2.5 years, we promoted our business. She said they ran 1,000 calls in Issaquah County last year. Well, you know that not all of ours come from Issaquah County. We contract for Baxter Regional, Fulton County, Ems in Little Rock, Baptist in Little Rock, an area of a lot of people, North Ark, that call us for transfers, for non-emergency transfers. That's why we have to have the trucks that we have. Done 745 calls last year. None of those were 911. 365 calls the year before. None of those were 911 calls. It's strictly, I work on that patient tells this patient, and it keeps going around. The word gets around, we're gonna take care of our patients here and now. I'm not afraid to say that we'll hit 1,000 calls this year, because we're closely approaching 500 right now. So, the last thing that I can say to you, as the council and as the mayor, we're here to stay. We're not leaving. We will expand if we need to, but we will be here to take care of you. You've had to call our personal dispatch number. You can't call 911, but it hasn't been a problem. There's been a few times that people have panicked and called 911, which that's perfectly good. I've actually had a couple of people call me that we did not have an ambulance available and couldn't get to them. I called Vital Links Dispatch, and their dispatcher has sent an ambulance twice that we had to call. They haven't called us but once. And anything going on over here, someone having a heart attack, stroke, whatever it may be, and a truck is coming from Melbourne, 4 miles out on Highway 5, from the Melbourne base to that house is 25 miles. We know it's going to be at least 25 minutes. Okay, documentation said 22. How do I know this? Because the patient brought me the paperwork and said, look at this. 22 minutes from the base in Melbourne to their house 4 miles out of town. They said it took them 22 minutes. The family is screaming and hollering. They're into the 40 minutes. Wondering where the ambulance is from the time that they made the first phone call. I don't know what happens when they make that first phone call. It goes to 911. It's transferred to Vital Link. And in that 3 minutes, I think is what she's saying, that ambulance is running. That's what I would hope it would be. Because they've got to get the phone call first before they can, before they can send their trucks out. That's understandable. But when you've got a truck sitting here that's perfectly capable of doing 12 leads, of doing capnography, doing updrafts, doing seat down, transmitting 12 leads to the hospital where the doctor can look at it, I don't understand why there can't be a working relationship to somehow take care of the citizens of California. I would just ask that there be no exclusive contract signed between the city of Calico Rock and Vital. But once again, I'm not asking for one either. I don't think it's right for me to ask someone when I'm sitting here trying to say that the patient's got the choice. They paid their $50. They can call Vital Link or they can call 911 and they can get body worn. That's their choice. But if they wanna call us, that's also their choice. And if you do an exclusive contract, they don't have that choice. All I got.
City has the authority to issue to give an exclusive ambulance service, but I know that, and I've got paperwork from the circuit court clerk, it is being litigated at this point, and I think maybe one of the issues is what exactly is emergency service, and I'm appealing Judge Sherrill's ruling, so it really is a point that Calico probably just needs to sit back and say, let's wait and see what develops in the circuit court before just not make a decision.
I'll make a motion, we table this decision until litigation is over. I don't think we should get involved in a legal battle at this time. Why this is done.
We have a motion and a second. Table. Any questions regarding either ambulance service until such time as litigation is set? And then we'll be brought back up to discussion. Any other discussion on that? Any comments? Roll call vote.
Jackie,
Yes.
Linda? Bill?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lena? Junior?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.